Council meeting Monday, January 23rd, 2 p.m. 2017. Disclosure of pecuniary interest in the general nature thereof. Seeing none. A moment of reflection. At the beginning of this council meeting, we pause to think about the needs of our community. May we show wisdom and compassion in all our decisions, of which there apparently will be very few today. First up is the approval of minutes. Can I have a motion? Councillor Freeman, Councillor Burke. Any edits or anything? Seeing none, all those in favor? That's all of us. Reports of committees, we have two. We can move them together if people like. Councillor Henry, Councillor Veith. Any discussion? All those in favor? That's all of us. Consent motion. Does anybody want anything removed from consent? There's 3 items. Seeing none, would somebody like to move them? Councillor Freeman, Councillor Henry? Any other discussion? All those in favor? Okay, good. No presentations, no delegations. 1 staff report, award of the RFQ for the replacement of a fire services pumper, Rescue 12. And we have Chief Heptich is here. We have the audit committee memo. I don't think the chief is making a presentation or anything, but you're available for questions and answers. Is that correct, Chief? Questions for the chief, of which I'll have one. In the audit committee report, one of the things they highlighted was if there's any education required that for this new truck, because that this would be encapsulated in any training that we need to do. Is there any training that's required for this new truck or anything to be aware of there?
So thank you, Mayor Jaworski, for your question. The only training that is required is the standardized training for when we receive the vehicle from the manufacturer. Their question was focused on if there's additional training beyond the status quo, if you will, for the receipt of new equipment.
And there is not anything?
There is not.
Excellent. Further questions from council? Certainly, thank you very much for getting this done on such a short timeline and getting the replacement and finding that. Mover, Councillor Henry, Councillor Whaley, thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor? That's all of us. There's no informal or other public meetings. On a other business, I actually just received a note from His Excellency, the Right Honourable David Johnston, Governor General. And it's addressed to myself and the University of Waterloo President, and it's really to our council and to staff. Dave and Ferridan, I was just delighted to read the shared upgrading plan to upgrade trails and roads in the R&T Park. From the first day when the city took the bold step to create the park, it has exceeded our best dreams and is such a talisman for town and gown collaboration for the whole country. Bravo for continuing the journey so ably. Warmest regards to all your colleagues who share the work. David. So, a bit of congratulations to the entire team.
And Mayor, I just note on the same thing that that I've received a couple of emails from folks in and around or formerly with the university community arising from stories on that to make additional suggestions for enhancements and supports and those opportunities, some of which our staff are modest and are actually easily being able to be accommodated by AT. So even more than David commented on there is stuff that we might be able to get done in the next couple of years.
With great news. We have some bylaws. Any further comments on anything? Councillor Durrell. Yeah, go ahead.
A couple of the uptown businesses have asked a couple questions regarding enabling patios and the use of the wider sidewalks. It's a regional issue, even though it is in uptown Waterloo on King Street on our main road. We've now doubled the size of the sidewalks. Many businesses are preparing ahead of time for the new streetscape. So I'm just wondering, how are we working with the regional Councillor Jaworski and CAO Tim Anderson to make sure that we are ready and able to allow that to happen this spring?
Well, I do know from a political level, there's been a number of discussions on that, but everybody seems to be well-informed and eager to proceed with this at the political level. But discussions been happening at the staff level, and I think they're just proceeding. Any update, Mr. Anderson?
Yes, through you, Mayor Jaworski, Councillor Darrell's correct, and we are in active discussions with regional staff. The city is proceeding on a couple of fronts. First, we've engaged IBI consultants to develop some patio guidelines for King Street and Willis Way. And Steve Ross, our solicitor, is drafting up a patio license agreement that would be a bit of a template that the city would consider. We hope council would approve it for use along Willis Way, and in turn we'd be asking the region to follow suit with a similar agreement. So I expect that'll be coming forward toward the end of the first quarter.
Well, also, you talked about Willis Way and the new King Street, which I know IBI is involved in, but there's the other side of King Street that's already been done with ION. It will all be included in this same thing?
Yes, that's the vision. So all of Uptown where appropriate, so along all of King Street from roughly William up towards Central and Willis Way on the existing portion that was designed with the wider sidewalk platforms. It's certainly a need that we've heard from the merchants as well, so
Excellent.
we think it's a value-added addition.
So I can report back to the BIA that we'll have something by the end of March?
I think that would be a fair timeline, and again, it'll come forward to council as a staff report and our recommendation to proceed.
Thank you. Councillor Freeman.
I just have a couple of questions because I had breakfast with some folks last week. So one of the questions was, it's to do with some of the traffic on the west side. And I just wondered whether or not we have a schedule for undertaking traffic monitoring on the Wilmot line associated with the fact that the new Costco's open and that we might want to compare data. The other was with regard to the multimodal traffic analysis for the west side. I was thinking that we had said it was coming back to council by now, so I just thought it would be helpful to get an update on that. And then I think that staff are aware of this, but I just wanted to raise it. The gates that are intended to be locked from the subdivision to Wilmot line, they're pretty routinely being cut open. So I don't know how we monitor that or how we manage that, but because of the location over the hill, if the gates are unlocked and someone does come out there, there's a significant, it's not designed, let's just say, for traffic to enter the Wilmot line off of those gated areas, and so the sight lines to those areas are quite poor. So if I could just leave that with you, that would be great.
Okay, thank you. Anything further? Councillor Whaley? Well, this could be longer than the council meeting. This is
Just
awesome. Keep
as a
going.
quick follow-up to Councillor
Anything
Freeman's comments, I just suggest residents there be careful what they ask for. You know, we have a pretty hard line on 1,000 cars on that road before it's before an action is required, and sometimes it's better just not, you know, to maybe do your own count rather than have the city do the count and have some information that they're not, or they are, and nor are we prepared for.
Okay, noted. Thank you. Seeing nothing further, we have a bunch of bylaws, but we're going to remove C for another day. We're going to save it for another day. So we have A, B, D, E, F. Could I have a motion on the bylaws? Councillor Freeman, Councillor Henry, all those in favor? That's all of us. Motion to go into closed session. Councillor Veith, Councillor Burke, and all those in favor? That's all of us. If Councillor Whaley raises his hand, we're good. Awesome. Thank you.